What's up guys, Mr. Holton here, and today we're gonna be talking a little bit about the infamous ending that for a time a lot of fans thought was a real plot twist. The Indoctrination Theory.
Woo! Yeah, baby!
But before we start, remember to smash the like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, especially if you've been enjoying the content so far. So what is the Indoctrination Theory exactly? Well, it's not too difficult to wrap your head around. In a basic explanation, it says that Shepard was in fact indoctrinated by the Reapers at the very end of Mass Effect, and that everything after the sprint to the beam in London is basically all a dream, that Shepard still lies there in the rubble. Huh? Right? Okay, so for anyone who's confused at this point, let me guide you through the last parts of Mass Effect 3 in order to make this make sense. So hang in there. So after Shepard and the crew has gone all over the galaxy making allies and solving conflicts, or escalating them, the Reapers have managed to capture the Citadel and moved it to Earth somehow. Earth, which was heavily occupied by the Reapers at the beginning of Mass Effect 3, is about to become a depopulated planet as the Reapers are at the final stages of creating a human-Reaper hybrid. Unfortunately, the Reapers have gained an even stronger foothold on Earth since Shepard left to gather allies, and so they've gathered en masse above our home planet to meet Shepard's fleet head-on. Despite this, Shepard and the alliance of the races in the Milky Way galaxy make a desperate attempt at attacking the Reapers in order to save Earth and hopefully solving the Reaper threat forever. Shepard and the fleet attacks and a massive space battle ensues, which in my humble opinion is probably one of the greatest space battles ever put to screen. Nevertheless, this battle serves as a distraction in order for Admiral Hackett to escort the Crucible to the Citadel. During the space battle, Shepard and the Normandy departs from the battle and we make our way to London, which is the center of the Reaper operations. This is also where Anderson, Shepard's father figure, has made his own base of operations with what's rest of Earth's opposition. Shepard, Anderson, and the rest of the team make up a plan to charge the strange beam that the Reapers has erected in the center of London, since it's speculated that this is sort of a teleportation device that will take them to the Citadel. So after getting rid of a few Reaper blockades, the opposition in London makes a last Hail Mary attempt and charges at the beam. As we charge in, not only do we meet heavy Reaper resistance head-on, but the Reaper leader Harbinger lands right in front of us and starts melting people left and right. And right before Shepard reaches the beam, Harbinger's own beams manage to reach close enough to Shepard and the screen goes white. Now this, according to the Indoctrination Theory, is where Shepard dreams up the entire ending because he or she is indoctrinated. But why though? What's the point of this theory? So let me take you back in time. In the original Mass Effect 3 ending, that is before the extended cut came out, a lot of what happens in the ending just seemed nonsensical to a lot of people, and because of Shepard's history with the Reapers, a connection was made throughout the games that strongly hints at Shepard becoming more and more similar to what the Elusive Man ended up as inside the Citadel control room. If we look back at Mass Effect 1 for example, Shepard and two squadmates were in a very close proximity to Sovereign as he assaulted the Citadel tower. Now we know for a fact that just being in the general vicinity of a Reaper makes you a victim of the indoctrination signal, and there is no way of blocking it. Another hint is the Lazarus Project, the project that brought Shepard back to life after he was killed in the Collector attack at the beginning of Mass Effect 2. The only thing we know about the Lazarus Project is that it used cybernetic implants and other means to resurrect Shepard. And Shepard was really dead, since you know he or she crash-landed on a planet after being blown out of the Normandy.
He needs some milk!
So who's to say that the Lazarus Project didn't use Reaper tech to get Shepard up and running again? And then we have the boarding of the derelict Reaper, which was still emitting a strong signal 37 million years after its apparent death. Time and time again, Shepard has been in the general vicinity of an indoctrination signal. And the first real hints of it affecting him somehow is in the beginnings of Mass Effect 3. First, we see this little boy playing with his toy ship, and after the Reapers invade, Shepard finds the boy inside a ventilation shaft and tries to help him. As Anderson calls out to Shepard, Shepard turns his or her head and then looks back, only to see an empty ventilation shaft as we hear the ominous sound of a Reaper. Now we see this boy one more time before Shepard leaves Earth. And that is when the kid stands around Alliance soldiers that are evacuating civilians. And according to several fans, it seems like the soldiers don't even notice the kid at all. Now this could actually be a real kid. But it's strange that Shepard sees the very same kid again after just seeing him vanish in the ventilation shaft. And during the campaign of Mass Effect 3, Shepard has these dark dreams where he sees the same child over and over again. Now officially, this probably serves as a representation of Shepard having PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder, where he realizes that humanity will burn alongside him in the end. This shot is especially telling, as if Shepard is holding the child, which may even represent the catalyst, and how Shepard takes their side in the end, if we're to believe the indoctrination theory. Now let's touch on some nonsensical things that I mentioned before, and these have to do with the last 20 minutes of the game itself. Right after Shepard gets up from the ground in London, we get this strange and nightmarish ambient noise, and we see from Shepard's perspective how everything is slowed down and all weird. After popping the skulls of two husks charging at Shepard, Marauder Shields appears and tries to stop Shepard from continuing further. Marauder Shields is the true hero of Mass Effect. He tried to save us from seeing those horrible endings. Rest in pieces, Marauder Shields. Okay, I'll stop now. Anyway, Shepard walks into the beam and gets zipped up onto the Citadel. Allegedly, if this theory is to be believed. And as Shepard starts making his or her way through the Citadel, we see stuff that just doesn't seem to make sense. First of all, how come Anderson appeared at an entirely different location than Shepard? If this beam was used to transfer bodies for the construction of a Reaper, why didn't Anderson appear in the same place? Better yet, why is he in the control room before Shepard? Because they arrived there at the same time. And with some icing on the cake, why does the elusive man appear at all? Considering how we know how careful Jack was about everything, Jack being his real name, and how he knew the risks of indoctrination, isn't it a little bit strange that the most careful dude in the galaxy becomes just a puppet of the Reapers in the end? And that's what some people say. But we can actually see from different sources that Jack was in fact indoctrinated the entire time. Just look at Mass Effect Evolution. This is where we see Jack's origins, and the reason to why he has cybernetic eyes is because he made contact with a Reaper device. And then when we assault the elusive man's base, we witness how he's trying to implant himself with more Reaper tech to make himself better. So yeah, it's pretty clear that the elusive man was indoctrinated from the beginning. There's no escaping that. He just didn't believe that he was. As we go on, the final confrontation ends with Jack either shooting himself or getting shot, and Anderson dying no matter what you do. Then Shepard collapses as the Crucible docks with the Citadel. After a few moments, Shepard gets lifted to the Catalyst chambers and the conversation with the infamous Starchild begins. Now, according to the Indoctrination Theory, this last part with the Starchild is just a bunch of made-up fantasy in Shepard's mind. The fact that there was a master puppeteer who controlled the Reapers inside the Citadel all along just seemed to come out of left field. Why didn't the Catalyst just activate the Keeper signals in Mass Effect 1? Why make Sovereign go through all that effort just in order to open the gateway for the other Reapers to arrive, when it could just have activated the signal itself? And what's up with the circular logic? We had just disproved the Catalyst's notion of synthetics always having to go to war with organics if Shepard managed to broker peace between the Geth and the Quarians. Now, before you protest in defense of the Catalyst's motivations, the extended cut included more dialogue that explained the motivations better. I know that. But back when Mass Effect 3 had just been released, it all just seemed so badly written. And Mass Effect 1 and 2 and even 90% of Mass Effect 3 was not badly written. So people were just asking, what's up with this? And so the indoctrination theory just exploded in popularity. The red, blue, and green endings just created an even greater layer of WTF. Why are they all the same? And why is Joker escaping the big energy bubble at the very end, when we know that Joker would stay by Shepard's side until the end? As you may have noticed, the indoctrination theory actually started making sense somewhat back then. It doesn't make much sense now that we have the extended cut, and Byebye also stated as much in interviews, that the indoctrination theory was too clever for them and that it wasn't canon. So that's that, I guess. But could it have worked? Could the indoctrination theory been a viable ending to Mass Effect 3? Well, yes and no. Sure, it could maybe have worked if Byebye scrapped the original ending and made a new one where they made it canon. But the biggest question is, why? If the indoctrination theory was actually the true ending, then what's the point of it? If Shepard still was lying there in the rubble, it would mean that A. Bioware would have to create an entirely new section after the dream takes place, with an actual real ending. B. The Reapers won at the end, aka the refusal ending. Or C. The next game, aka Mass Effect 4, would have us still fighting the Reapers after the entire campaign of Mass Effect 3. And trust me, I do love me some giant robo calamari, but pushing the Reaper conflict into the next game would just become overkill at that point. So with all this said, I do enjoy speculating, as you may have seen from my channel. And I do kind of reach sometimes with my own theories, but even I gotta say that the indoctrination theory just didn't make sense in the end, well after the extended cut. I still like it though. Parts of it could have worked if, Bioware had thought about it before they made the ending. But hey, they didn't. It is what it is. It is what it is. But what do you think about the indoctrination theory? Do you still believe in your heart of hearts that it is the true ending to Mass Effect? Or have you accepted that it's not? Or maybe you just have any other thoughts or suggestions? Leave those down in the comments below. And as always, have a great day guys. Mr. Holton signing out.